Did you all have the opportunity to watch my African video talking about the countries I have been to, the perspective from a Black woman? Well, if you did, then you will know that one of my subscribers who is very near and dear to my heart requested that video. And you know, I'll be listening to y'all in the comments, and so many people wanted pictures and videos of my experience in Africa. So if you want to know fun things to do in Africa, this video is for you. We're going to go through the countries that I've actually visited, and I'm going to tell you some really cool activities that you can check out if you end up traveling to those particular countries. First, welcome to my channel. Fly Like Me, PhD. I am Dr. Maya, and I encourage Black women to live or move abroad. I have traveled to 45 countries, and I have lived in 6 of those countries. So always very interested in talking about travel. First, y'all, we gotta celebrate. We gotta celebrate. We gotta celebrate. We gotta celebrate. We have made it to 500 subscribers, okay? YouTube already gave me my plaque. They gave me some fireworks. Your girl is happy. In all seriousness, I really want to thank all of the people that have watched, that have liked, that have commented, and most importantly, subscribed to my channel. Without you, there is no me. You all have helped me so much to achieve 500 subscribers, and I could not be more happy. I am honored and thrilled to talk about travel with you all, and that you all are loving what we're talking about. So we're going to talk about the 5 countries that I've been to in Africa, which include Tanzania, Uganda, Nigeria, and Ghana, and Morocco. And along with those, I will tell you about fun things I did in every single country. We'll first start with the most recent countries that I went to the ones that are the furthest back. So as y'all know, I love to show y'all swag. So let me show you my shirt. It's from Ghana. So if you get the opportunity to go to Ghana, Nigeria, they have some really incredible souvenirs. In Ghana, the t-shirts were really nice and Afrocentric. I would recommend that you all check those out. There are so many beautiful pieces across the world, so we got to look at them. So let's start off first by talking about Nigeria and Ghana. In Nigeria, we were in Lagos last year, which is 2024. We went on a Black travel group to Nigeria, but then we went separately to Ghana. So that was a solo trip to Ghana, and then Nigeria was on the Black travel group, and we stayed in the Continental Hotel in Nigeria. So first we went to the Lekki Conservation Center, which is located in the middle of Lagos. It has canopy walkways, and it has the largest canopy walkway in Africa and the second largest canopy walkway in the world. Okay, the place has plants and animals, and you can see the treetops as well. And we went up about 6 towers. So just so y'all know, the walkway a little shaky. You're like, are we about to fall? Is this the end? But you're fine. Very stable, very good walkway, but just very high up in the air. You can really look out and take some really good pictures. So if you are okay with heights and climbing a little bit, this would be a good thing for you to take a look at, that canopy walk for sure. The next thing I want to tell you all about is the Nike Art Gallery, or Nike Art Gallery, and this is owned by a woman that is affectionately called Queen Mama. So here there are 7,000 pieces of artwork of Nigerian artists. At the gallery, we were able to also select Nigerian names just for fun, like what would our Nigerian name be? And we saw the tribe that they were from, and we learned the meanings of the names. And I would tell y'all, if I had racks on racks on racks, stacks on stacks on stacks, your girl would have so much of this artwork in her house. I love things that are really Afrocentric, and a lot of the paintings were. They had abstract and technical paintings. You all know I like to move around my apartment and show you different artwork on my wall. And so this would be a place that I would definitely buy some art from. We also had the experience of trying on a traditional Nigerian garb. The picture that I tried on is going to be in this video, as well as it was in the thumbnail that was for this video. And we had something that was placed on our head and something in our hands. The piece that we had in our hands kind of looked to us like a long feather, and they actually used that to tap people on the shoulders to greet them. Next, I would recommend that you all go to the Fela Shrine Museum. So this is the house of the political activist and musician, and it's going to walk you through the history of his life, his artistry, and it has many of his belongings. He unfortunately passed away at the age of 58 in 1997, but he was so known for speaking out against the government and also working with Black Americans for liberation of Black people. So if you have the opportunity to go to Nigeria, I would check out his house or this museum. Also, if you get to visit, I recommend going to a cooking class. So we went to a class that was called Speed Meals, and they taught us how to make a lot of dishes. We also were able to wear like chef's clothing, which was really cool, and to have a notebook where we wrote down recipes. The chef was very nice and very knowledgeable and accommodating, and really walked us through a lot of the recipes. We were also able to like throw things in the pot as he was cooking. We were able to stir. So we got some hands-on experience with the food as well. Now what I have to tell y'all is about that jollof rice. I know there's competition who has the best jollof rice. We love to see a competition. It's fine. It's a friendly competition, y'all. We don't want harmful competitions, but it's a friendly competition. It's fine. But the thing about that jollof rice, if you're a vegetarian or a vegan like your girl, that jollof rice has chicken broth in it. So know that ahead of time. If you're deciding to opt out and you're like, we're eating meat today, go ahead for that jollof rice. But please don't be me and learn the hard way that it's not vegan or vegetarian. So we learned how to make jollof rice too, and we learned how to make pepper soup with fish. So I want you to know that a lot of people have said the pepper soup was fire. So you want to try that pepper soup. A lot of people liked it. At our hotel, they had pepper soup along with goat, and they liked that as well. I have to say they liked it because y'all know I'm vegetarian vegan, so I did not eat it, but I heard that pepper soup is really good. So you want to try that. So that is the end of my recommendations of fun things to do in Nigeria. So y'all know we got to take pauses because your girl is dramatic. And so when things happen, we got to talk about them. The next thing we going to talk about is Ghana. We had the unfortunate experience of believing we were not going to Ghana. And when I say we, I mean me and my partner, because we had our passports held up at the Ghana consulate office. So I'm going to walk y'all through the whole story of what we had to go through to get these passports back. And then I'm going to give you advice so this don't have to be you. So if you interested in traveling to Ghana, listen to this in detail. First, it's going to be story time, my favorite. So the visa process is super daunting. What we had done is in March of last year, we were country scouting in Colombia. And y'all know I got videos on country scouting in Colombia. And then we came back in March, and we had about 3 weeks before we went to Nigeria and Ghana. For Nigeria, we were going through our Black travel group, so they helped us with the visa process. We were doing a visa on arrival. So essentially, you just had to get your documentation together, and then once you arrive in Nigeria, you're in the office, and they work on your visa right then and there. This was not the case for us in Ghana. We were going to Ghana in April, and so we had to do and get the visa before we got on the plane to go to Ghana. So now I'm going to tell you all about this experience. So Ghana recommends on the website that you purchase your flight ticket after you have your visa. I am going to support that. Get your ticket after you have the Ghanaian visa in hand. Then you buy your flight ticket. Unfortunately for us, we had already purchased our Nigeria and Ghana ticket. So we had a ticket leaving the US to go to Nigeria, and then that ticket from Nigeria to Ghana, and then that ticket from Ghana back to the US. So if we didn't go to Ghana, we did not have a flight back to the US at that time. That's why it was imperative for us to get this visa approved. It said on the website this process should take 2 weeks. I told y'all we had 3 weeks before we got there. It was a little tight, but y'all know I'm going to get it done. I'm a planner. I'm on it. So I'm like, I think we got this. No worries. As soon as we got back from Colombia, and the reason I tell y'all about Colombia is because we couldn't send our passports earlier because we were in Colombia and needed them. So as soon as we touched down from Colombia, we sent all of our required documents. So first with Ghana, you have to fill out information online. That's your first step, is you fill out things online for the consulate office. You got options. There's a consulate office in DC and there's a consulate office in New York. We chose the consulate office in New York. On the website, it said that we needed a prepaid envelope. This envelope was for them to put your visa in and send it back to you. So I called both the New York and DC office and I got no answer. So I was like, okay. On the DC website, it had a way to electronically pay for the prepaid envelope. So I was like, let me send our documentation to New York. New York did not have a way on their website. They said they were not doing the prepaid envelopes online anymore. So they didn't have that on their website. I tried to go to the post office and send a prepaid envelope to the New York office. And they were like, we don't do prepaid envelopes at the post office anymore because we don't know what is going to be sent back in that envelope. So they told me no. So as a result, I said, okay, let me just send it prepaid because I knew I had to send something through the DC office and maybe they'll send it to New York. That was a mistake. So weeks go by, I get no information. I had already sent all of our information to New York and I had sent that prepaid envelope to DC. I researched online what people had said about the consulate office, and multiple people said that their visa and their passport was held up in the Ghana consulate office and they had not sent it back. People had missed weddings and key family events because they did not have their passport. I started to freak out. At that moment, I'm like, girl, are we even going to Ghana? Like, passport been held up. At this point, it had been about a week and a half before our trip and still no passport. So I talked to my partner and she said that it was time for us to go ahead and try a new option. And this new option was going to be getting a temporary passport. So to get a temporary passport, what you have to do is that if your trip is within 2 weeks, so let's say that right now we're in April and 2 weeks from now, I had a trip out of the country, you can get a temporary or an emergency passport in that moment so that you can make it to that trip that is 2 weeks away. So that was our case. Actually, our trip was in a week and a half. So at that point, it's like, okay, let's get this temporary passport. That temporary passport is going to be good for 2 years because they're thinking probably within 2 years, you should be able to get your original passport back. And that temporary passport is going to allow you to be able to travel in that trip that you need that is coming up soon. So what we had to do was you had to book an appointment, and in every state it's going to be different where these offices are. The office for us was like an hour away from where we live, but essentially you just go and get another passport, right? You're going to take your picture again. You're going to get a new passport. You're going to pay the money that you paid for that passport all over again, but get a temporary one, or what I call like an emergency passport. So I called every single day to that consulate office. I also messaged in the chat. There was a chat on the Ghana consulate office website of people that work there. And somebody told me that our visa had been approved, but they just still had it at the consulate office because I had sent the prepaid envelope to DC instead of to New York. So I kept calling, and finally, one of the numbers that someone gave me in the chat on the website, I went in the chat and messaged people from the office, and I was like, what are the numbers that they will answer? And one of those numbers that they gave me finally worked, and somebody called. Another difficulty of trying to communicate with them is that they are only open, this is the New York office, from 10 a.m. to 2 p.m. They are off on Ghanaian holidays and U.S. holidays, and they are closed on Fridays and on the weekend. So you got a very small window in which to catch them. So every morning I was waking up when it would hit 10 a.m. I was like, time to call, because it doesn't give you a lot of time to talk to them. So the person that I talked to was like, what you need to do is send us a label. And that label is what we will use to send back your passport, because they are not paying for postage. They want you to. So because we sent accidentally the prepaid envelope to DC, then now we had to go ahead and pay for a label for them to send it back to us. So that was day one. This is 1 week before our trip. Day two, I went to the FedEx office. I talked to them. I'm like, we need to get this label. This is where we need to send to. And I want it to be sent overnight so we can get our passports on day 3 before our trip. And so we went ahead and paid for that. I sent it to the Ghanaian consulate office. Day 3, we still had no passport. So I called back that number that they answered. And they also, when I called them, gave me an email that they respond to. So when you call them, get the email that they respond to, because the email on the website they never responded to. So I talked to a person at the office, and she said that they didn't have enough time yesterday to send it to FedEx and that they would do that today. This is day 3, but right before our trip. So day 4, FedEx had confirmed that they had received our passports and they would send them overnight to us, because that's what they paid for, on day 5. Day 5 at 11 a.m., FedEx knocked on the door and had our passports. I opened that with the quickness. The passports were in there. We had our visas and we were overjoyed. We cried out joy. I sent an email back to the Ghana consulate office letting them know we had received everything and thanking them. They also sent us all of our documentation back just in case we needed it in the future. And then day 6, we would leave for our flight to Nigeria, and then from Nigeria go to Ghana. Y'all, this was the scariest experience ever. I have been to 45 countries, and I was like, I'm not getting into this country. We're not going to Ghana. But we finally got it. So then we went ahead and canceled our appointment, because our appointment to get new passports, what we had planned to do was go and drive to get the new passport on the way. And then on the way to the airport, we were going to jump on that flight, because we were trying to wait to the very last day to see if we got our passport. So we went ahead and canceled that appointment. So y'all, we made it. We made it to Ghana. That is the story I have to tell you. This is a true story. This is not fake news. You heard it first from Dr. Maya. Now, what I want to do is, if y'all going to be here on my channel, is give you recommendations. I'm not going to sit here and scare you and not let you know how to avoid these pitfalls. So listen to me closely. Read my lips. If you want to go to Ghana, these are the recommendations I have for you. Number 1, get your Ghana visa before you buy your ticket, because then it's going to be a pressured situation if you done already bought that ticket, but you don't have a visa. That's number 1. Now, some countries, they require you to get your ticket before your visa, because when you apply for your visa, they're going to ask you for your ticket, right? As part of the visa process. That's not Ghana. They have told us multiple times to get the visa before we get the ticket into the country, okay? And when I did the process online, it was optional to upload your ticket. You didn't have to. It was not required, like some countries, to upload that flight information. So you good. Get the ticket get the passport, get the visa. Y'all, I'm just like so all over the place right now. Let's slow down. Get your visa for Ghana before you get your ticket. There we go. All right. Number 2, leave a month of time before to do your visa process. So if you plan to go to Ghana in April, then leave a month, the entire month of March open to get that visa and passport back. Start applying in February. Have the whole month of March. So if there's any problems, anything that happens, you will not end up in our situation sweating to the final day. You got a whole month to get it together. Number 3, read the instructions carefully. Call, email, text, be in the chat on the website. Read them instructions carefully. Do not send a prepaid envelope to the wrong office. It will not help you. Read. Ask questions before you send your information. Number 4, look online because everybody got your back and will tell you the best consulate office to go to for that particular visa. I chose the New York office because people were like, the New York office is a little bit more responsive and helpful. And once I got them on the phone, they were super helpful. They were answering every day. They were like, hi, Maya. They knew me by name. They were answering the email. So I would recommend the New York office, but it seems for the New York office, you're going to have to send the label. Okay. That's what you need to do. Send a label to them, not a prepaid envelope. Okay. Number 5, watch YouTube videos. We had a little confusion, a little hiccup. We weren't fully understanding how to upload some of our documentation on that online process. If you watch YouTube videos, they will show you how to upload that documentation. Number six, what you're going to do is you are going to go on a travel group, a Black travel group to Ghana, because then they'll help you with the visa process. You don't have to be alone. Remember, I didn't go to Ghana with my travel group, and so I was alone. So you want to go with a Black travel group, or you want to go to Ghana in December. In December, they offer you the opportunity to do a visa on arrival. That means all you got to do is get your documentation. When you land in Ghana, you're going to get them that documentation, get that visa there. You don't have to do it before. So these are my recommendations, y'all. Y'all take it or y'all leave it. That's how you going to get into Ghana if you want to do it, okay? If you got more questions, just put them in the comments and we can work through that Ghana visa process. We're going to take a breath because we got to Ghana. And now I want to tell y'all fun things to do in Ghana. It's worth it. After we got there, I was like, this is worth it. You should go to Ghana. So please right now, like my video if you liked the advice that I gave you about getting into Ghana. And if you're happy that wasn't you. So we went on Africa World Airlines is what we flew from Nigeria to Ghana. And I thought this was just so exciting. I've never heard of an airline called Africa World Airlines. That made me so happy. When you get into Ghana, what I would recommend first, fun things to do, is to go to the Black Star Square or Independence Square in Accra. The Prime Minister, Kwame Nkrumah, was instrumental in creating this space for Ghanaian independence from the British in 1957. There are also parades that happen here. They say performances and concerts. It's a really on and popping spot, so y'all got to check that out. We also went to Mogo Hill, which is the home of baboons, birds, and green monkeys. We climbed a rock and we were able to see some really nice scenery of Ghana once we climbed that rock. Y'all also can notice in the picture, your girl was sweating a lot because it was hot. Okay, it's hot in Nigeria and Ghana, but definitely worth it. I saw ostrich. We got to take a picture up close and personal, but know that the ostrich is behind the gate. And in some cases, you can get the opportunity to feed them. They're very friendly creatures and just minding their own business. In the United States, we had a prominent Black figure named W.E.B. Du Bois. And Du Bois was signature in Pan-Africanism and was an activist and a scholar. I have a Black History Month series, a part 1 and part 2. Part 2, when I talk about men, I mention him in case you want to know more about his life. He traveled extensively in Ghana. He would hang out with the Prime Minister, Kwame, and he also went there with his second wife, Shirley. And so I would recommend that you all see his museum. Unfortunately, he would go on to pass in Ghana due to declining health, but you can see his tombstone. You can see the history of his life. You can see the history of his wife's life, his second wife, and learn about the legacy, because he was very instrumental in talking about issues related to Black people when he was alive. Now I want to take you all to Tanzania and Uganda. That is where I went in 2023 on the same Black travel group. And in Tanzania, we went on lots of safaris, y'all. We tried to see the big 5, which would be the buffalo, the elephant, the lion, the leopard, and the rhino, coming to you live in Tanzania. And I was able to see the buffalo, the elephant, and the lion. And I was like 10 feet away from a real lion, y'all. So at this point, I want to shout out my homegirl, Dr. S, who took a video of the lion that was near us. Y'all got to check it out.
From the window.
Another time we got to see a lion too, taking a nap in the grass. And I was like, I get it. I'm tired too. That sun is hot. We went to the Serengeti National Park as well, and this is where we saw a lot of other animals in that Serengeti. So if you get the chance, you should go to the Serengeti. I was able to see a cheetah, not to be confused with a leopard. Okay, cheetahs and leopards are different. And we got to see the cheetah kind of taking care of his family, which was really cute. I took pictures of elephants as well. They were literally just walking right by our truck, y'all. It was so cool. We were so close to them, but I took pictures while I was in the truck. Then we were able to see the giraffe. If you saw my first African video, that thumbnail is a picture of me with the giraffe. I took a lot of pictures of the giraffe. I remained in the truck and we saw the giraffe from there. Then we went on to see a zebra and it was scratching his belly on a rock. I was like, you better scratch that belly. The zebra was really cute. And when we were leaving and just driving up the road, we saw a buffalo. And so the buffalo was just minding its business, but it was right there on the side of the road. So we stopped and we took a bunch of pictures. And this can happen while you're just driving up to the safari. You can see animals stopping you by, right? We saw monkeys on the street. I mean, if you like animal sightings, this is perfect for you. The safaris got animals everywhere. And you can be just so close to them. It feels like you can touch them. I did not touch any of the animals because they live in their life. I'm not trying to ruin their life, but you can be really close to those animals on the safari. Now we're going to talk about Uganda. I went to Uganda after I was in Tanzania, and I went with two of my homegirls and with our leader for our travel group. And one of my homegirls, we still friends today. Hey girl, you know who you are. Okay. And so while we were in Uganda, we went whitewater rafting in the Nile River. So the Nile River actually extends through a bunch of countries in Africa, and one of them is Uganda. And so I want to tell y'all the story of when we went whitewater rafting. It was so fun. We was looking all cute with our little helmet, and we also got a life jacket, so we were safe. We had our paddle, and we were in the raft, and we were paddling, and they taught us, you know, if you want to move left, if you want to move right, this is how you paddle. So it's me, two of my homegirls, our leader from our travel group, and then the guide was also there. Then the guide that was responsible for the whitewater rafting, he had about 5 other people that were from Uganda, obviously, and that worked at the place. And they were on small boats riding beside us just in case anything happened and they needed to swoop in, they could help us. And boy, did they. So we're going along, having a great time, left, right. All of a sudden, the boat start tipping, and I'm like, where we going? And we got tipped over completely, and all of us fell into the water. And I was trying to reach for my homegirl. I'm like, T! But she was too far away for me to get her because I can swim, but some of the people could not. And so I was trying to save them. And at some point, it was like, girl, take care of yourself. So then I started doggy paddling until the guys on the boats, the smaller boats, came and got us and put us in the main raft. So we go ahead and talk to our guide, and he was like, how was that? And we were like, scary. 2 of us cannot swim, but we had life jackets on, and the guys were able to save us. Everybody is fine and okay. Don't worry. And he was like, oh, I did that on purpose, just for fun. This dude threw us into the Nile River for fun. But we survived and we're here and it was a good time. I would still recommend y'all go whitewater rafting, but you tell them what? Not to dunk you in the water. So the other thing that y'all remember that is very signature to what I did, because sometimes I can be a little risky, a little daredevil, she risky, is that I went bungee jumping. And with the bungee jumping, I looked all cute in my harness. I was all posed up. Me and the guy were laughing, having a great time as he put me in that harness. I was the only one on my group brave enough to go bungee jumping. So I went by myself, but my homegirls were there. They were cheering me on the whole way. I heard them as I was up there. And so this story is that the guide told me we're going to count down from 5 to 1 and I'm going to throw you on 1. I said, perfect. This man lied through his teeth and threw me on 3 and will never be forgiven. So when y'all see this video, you going to hear me screaming, and it wasn't even because I was scared. It was because he threw me on 3 and I was like, you were supposed to throw me on 1, right? Like a whole situation. But I am really, really happy to share this video with you all of the time that I was able to go bungee jumping. I would tell you it's very invigorating. It's very fun. It also wasn't too bad because I got thrown into the Nile River. So it wasn't like, oh my God, I hit some rocks. Like, I would recommend it. So let's actually show you all the video.
Wait for the camera! Wait for the camera!
Go, Maya! She did that, okay?
Wait for the camera! Wait for the camera!
I will tell y'all, I got no regrets. That was super fun. My mom hates watching that video because she's like, my water. But it was really, really fun. I would recommend it. If you are a daredevil, if you are okay with heights, it was pretty exciting. Now, if you're the type of person that like wants something a little bit more low key, we went ATV after that. I was super dizzy from the bungee jumping, so I took a nap in the car. But we got green jumpsuits and helmets and glasses. And we had the opportunity to drive around the village. We waved at kids and parents. And at the end of it, we saw a really nice body of water that we chatted by, and I would do it again. So both of those things, shout out to Uganda. It was my first time doing ATV, and it was also my first time doing bungee jumping. I had a really wonderful time. People were very nice and very accommodating when I did both. So shout out to them. The last thing I would recommend if you are in Uganda is gorilla trekking. So gorilla trekking was really, really nice. Again, similar to the safari, we were just feet away from the gorillas, and I have pictures with them. They were like taking care of their babies. They were minding their business. They were eating or chilling, and we had to wear a mask as to not contaminate the gorillas. We did have to go hiking for a little while to get to the gorillas, and we got a little tired, but we did bring a backpack. We ate food in the forest, and it was really nice. So I really wanted to have the opportunity to share with you all a video of one of the gorillas sliding down a tree that I took. Shout out to me for this video. So now I'm going to tell you all about my first trip ever to Africa, and that was in Morocco in 2011. So I'm gonna look very different. She had long hair. She had them braids. She thought she was cute. So that is a very feminine part of me. Back in the day, I was only an undergrad. Didn't know much about the world at the time. Wasn't even a doctor, y'all. I was just trying to get that bachelor's. It was my junior year in college, and we went and I studied abroad in Spain. So while I studied abroad in Spain, I was able to go to Morocco. You can take a ferry. I lived in Sevilla, which is the southern part of Spain, and was able to take a ferry for about an hour or an hour and a half and see Morocco. And so this was my first time in Africa. And I would recommend if you go to Morocco, you go to the Blue City. It's very historic. My favorite color is blue. I loved being there. The sights and the shades. It's just a very pretty and picturesque situation. So Blue City, check that out. It has a lot of history too in Morocco. Finally, y'all, this was my first time on an animal. I rode a camel while I was in Morocco. Once I rode it with a friend, and then I was able to ride it solo. I want you to know they are very calm and nice creatures. They was big chillin'. It was really nice to ride them. And a fun fact was at my university, I submitted a photo of me on the camel for a competition of like a travel competition. And I didn't win, but they did post the picture of me on the camel in the Union. And every other day, people would text me like, you know, there's your picture up in the Union of you on this camel. And then I also went there. This was after I had graduated. It was still posted, and I took my mom because I wanted to take a picture with it. And then my mom goes, this is just like such a beautiful picture. I love this of you, Maya. And there was a worker, a custodial worker in the Union. And he was like, is that you? And I was like, yeah. He was like, you're a celebrity. I see this picture every day, and I always wonder, who was it? I'm so happy to meet you. I'm like, yeah, that's me. So yeah, that is going to be the conclusion of our video of fun things to do in African countries. I hope that you all will check out my other video on Black women in the motherland. I'll link it to you above so that you can see other content that I have discussed. The video is going to be pretty similar to this video. I did give more storytelling in that video, so if you're interested, check it out. Both of these videos are a part 1 and 2 to each other, so they work together. for our comments, I want to tell you, of all the activities that I mentioned today, which ones would you be interested in doing? And if you've already been to African countries, tell us some fun things that you've done in the African countries that you have been to. So y'all know I'm always going to tell you what our next video is going to be about, and it's going to be about saving that money. If you are trying to live or travel abroad, one of the biggest issues that people have or concerns is about money. Where's that money coming from to go abroad? And so I'm going to give you some tips about how to save money if you want to travel or live abroad. This is actually real advice that I have taken and used because I plan to live in Colombia next year. So starting this year in January, I've done some of these tips to like really lower and save my money in order to be able to move abroad. So I'm going to give you those. Another thing is I got a bonus for you. I got a bonus for you. I got a bonus for you. I am going to start featuring people on my channel so y'all don't have to just hear from me. You can hear from the perspectives of other people that have traveled, that have lived abroad, that have insight. So that's a new thing that we're doing to my channel or adding to my channel. I'm going to have my first guest who is extra special to my heart. It's my homegirl. Love her so much, so kind. We have bonded. We have worked together, supporting each other's channels. And so I'm not even going to tell you what it's about so y'all can be surprised. So after this video, I should be dropping that video of my first feature with my homegirl. And then after that will be the video about saving money. So those are our videos for April. I hope that you all will enjoy them. As always, it is a pleasure to talk to you all. I hope that you are taking care of yourself and you are doing well. Know that you are in community. I am here with you. You are here with me, and we are here to help each other. So I will see you next time. Bye.